This is the Iraqi Dinar Today latest news broadcast, and we are diving deep into a report that is generating tremendous discussion across the global currency community. If you are one of the many individuals who have been closely monitoring the situation surrounding the Iraqi dinar, or perhaps hold the currency yourself, the information we are breaking down today may represent one of the most significant developments in recent financial history. Imagine a scenario where the customary, restrictive boundaries placed on a currency largely considered exotic are suddenly lifted by one of the world's most prominent financial institutions. Such a systemic shift could be the prelude to a monumental transition that countless observers have been anticipating for many years. The news that has set the dinar community abuzz centers on an internal adjustment reportedly made by Chase Bank, one of the behemoths of the United States banking sector. This financial giant has seemingly taken the remarkable and almost unheard of step of eliminating previous exchange limitations imposed on currencies like the Iraqi dinar. For context, banks historically maintained stringent daily caps on foreign currency transactions, often restricting exchanges for currencies such as the IQD to relatively small amounts, typically ranging from a few $1,000s. These long-standing limitations made it inherently difficult, if not impossible, for individuals holding substantial amounts of dinar to quickly liquidate their holdings. The alleged removal of these restrictions, though not accompanied by a formal public statement, signifies an internal operational change that strongly indicates a state of serious readiness within the banking infrastructure. Such a profound alteration in protocol is never arbitrary. It suggests a measured, strategic alignment with impending international financial movements. For those who have maintained a position in the dinar, this internal banking development could be interpreted as a tangible sign that the currency is shedding its historical label as merely a speculative or low-liquidity asset. Instead, these actions position the dinar for potential integration and legitimacy as a freely tradable instrument within the global financial marketplace, an outcome many have long hoped for. It is absolutely crucial to grasp the true magnitude of what the abolition of these exchange limits could imply for a currency like the dinar. Financial institutions do not revise their risk management and liquidity protocols whimsically. The pre-existing strict caps were a deliberate safeguard, designed to mitigate potential risks, protect the bank's own liquidity, and prevent sudden, damaging volatility associated with lesser traded or unstable currencies. By choosing to eliminate these carefully established restrictions, banks are effectively signaling that they are now prepared and fully equipped to process transactions of a much larger and potentially unlimited scale without immediate concern. This readiness can be clearly interpreted as essential infrastructure preparation for what could be an organized special exchange window. Within such a framework, significantly large quantities of the Iraqi dinar could be processed and exchanged at new, officially regulated rates. For the dedicated holders of IQD, this systemic change may finally unlock the access to genuine liquidity, transforming the currency's theoretical value into practical, usable capital. For everyone who has invested their patience and time into monitoring this currency event, the behind-the-scenes adjustment of global banking system serves as a powerful indication that the necessary framework is being meticulously constructed for a future official rate activation. To fully understand this domestic banking news, we must pivot to the broader, ongoing economic transformation within Iraq itself, as the two are inextricably linked. The past year has been marked by intensive, government-led initiatives designed to fundamentally stabilize the nation's currency and significantly decrease its long-standing over-reliance on the United States dollar. Under the direction of Prime Minister Soudani and the tireless efforts of the Central Bank of Iraq, the country has committed to comprehensive economic reform and currency modernization. This includes the crucial implementation of new digital financial tools, advanced anti-fraud mechanisms, and modern international settlement systems. These structural reforms are not superficial. They are the fundamental cornerstones required for a robust and sustainable financial transition. When a major U.S. bank such as Chase makes a corresponding internal adjustment to its systems, it powerfully underscores a coordinated effort at the highest levels of global finance. This coordination is a clear, unmistakable acknowledgement by the international financial system of Iraq's serious commitment to reform, indicating a forthcoming willingness to integrate the dinar more deeply into established international markets and mechanisms. This is a foundational step toward true financial autonomy for Iraq. Within the intricate web of international banking and trading networks, the mounting signs of preparation have been evident for several weeks. Market traders and specialized insiders have reportedly observed internal system tests related to foreign currency exchange, where previous static placeholders for rates have been replaced by actively displaying live rate data. Routine internal warnings such as currency not available or system restricted are reportedly being replaced by new screens that indicate an active and unlimited capacity for currency exchange. These tests, while not accessible to the general public, reveal the enormous scale of the infrastructure work occurring behind the secured firewalls of major banks. Crucially, the timing of these internal banking system activities aligns perfectly with the accelerated pace of economic reforms being undertaken in Iraq. This synchronization suggests that banks are not merely conducting experimental trials. They are actively planning for a system-wide activation. The notion that Chase Bank would take such a significant preparatory step strongly suggests that its major counterparts are likely undertaking similar internal measures. For those currently holding the dinar, this parallel movement presents a unique and compelling window to ensure that all personal documentation and holding details are meticulously organized in anticipation of the official rate announcement. Furthermore, many experienced and well-connected figures within the dinar community have been providing subtle but consistent hints about this pivotal moment for weeks now. Analysts with established ties to key economic and political bodies in the Middle East have reported seeing the green light activated on internal financial systems, alongside directives instructing senior officials to be ready for major, high-volume currency events. While no individual can ever definitively confirm an exact schedule, the cumulative pattern of these activities is undeniable. Banks are actively preparing for transactions at an entirely different scale than any seen in the past, far surpassing the former capped limits. The confluence of the removal of transaction caps at institutions like Chase with these insider reports suggests that the necessary financial liquidity is being strategically positioned across the globe. This represents more than mere market gossip. It is a profound and systematic change in how what are classified as exotic or developing market currencies are managed and processed by major financial players. For long-term dinar holders, this systemic readiness provides a powerful impetus to organize, authenticate, and meticulously prepare their currency assets now, ensuring they are fully positioned to transact the moment the official window opens. However, it is vital to maintain a clear and realistic perspective on what this news does not immediately guarantee. The removal of exchange limits is not a blanket authorization for instantaneous access to massive, unverified wealth. Banks will, without fail, adhere to strict regulatory protocols governing compliance, verification, and the absolute authenticity of all currency notes presented for exchange. No one should expect to walk into a bank with a large quantity of dinar without having comprehensive documentation, verifiable proof of ownership, and the necessary authentication procedures in place to prevent fraud and counterfeiting. It must be understood that banks will implement rigorous checks to safeguard against illicit activities, and it is highly likely that any new, higher exchange rates may be rolled out in strategic staged phases. It is entirely possible that certain financial institutions might initially prioritize the exchange of larger, fully verified accounts before extending the service to the broader public. Understanding and respecting this phased and secure process is paramount, as acting prematurely or without impeccable preparation could unfortunately lead to a missed or compromised opportunity at the optimal rate. This moment fundamentally separates itself from the persistent cycle of past rumors and speculative hype that has surrounded the dinar for years. Previous waves of excitement were often based on unsubstantiated speculation, unofficial pronouncements, or outright misinformation. Today's developing situation, however, is firmly grounded in verifiable, tangible changes within the core banking infrastructure and is taking place under explicit international oversight and a coordinated effort involving Iraq's central bank and major global financial actors. The simultaneous introduction of digital dinar platforms and enhanced global security measures confirms that the legitimate foundation for a major financial event is solidly in place. Therefore, for those holding the currency, the signal being sent is clear and unmistakable. Preparation is not optional, It is the most critical factor, and the specific timing of action will ultimately determine the potential advantage that can be secured. From a purely practical perspective, this is a time for calm, strategic action, not panic. Rushing to a bank immediately upon hearing a rumor may not secure the most favorable exchange rate or a smooth transaction. The primary tasks now involve meticulously organizing and authenticating all dinar notes, ensuring all receipts or certificates of ownership are securely stored and readily accessible for verification. The next strategic step involves developing a precise, well-thought-out exchange plan. This requires a deliberate decision on the initial amount to exchange immediately versus the portion to retain for potential, future tiered rate benefits should such a structure materialize. Experienced financial observers often suggest that staggered release windows are a possibility, designed to reward investors who demonstrate structured timing and patience. Moreover, securing one's overall financial health is critical, meaning awareness of potential tax implications, digital security measures, and broader wealth preservation strategies are essential considerations. The action of banks removing exchange limitations is merely the most visible element of a much larger global coordination effort. Behind the scenes, institutions like Chase, alongside major players, are working in tandem with the U.S. Treasury, international regulatory bodies, and the Central Bank of Iraq. These coordinated internal changes are deeply strategic, designed to guarantee that when the official rates are activated, the entire global system can efficiently, securely, and legally process large volume exchanges under established regulatory frameworks. This unprecedented level of preparation fundamentally distinguishes the current situation from every preceding rumor of a currency revaluation. The scale of this preparation is a definitive indicator that this is not just another false start cycle of hype, but a highly structured, systemic financial transition. The digital revolution currently taking place within Iraq plays a vital role in this narrative. The implementation of modern digital banking networks, capabilities for real-time transaction processing, and sophisticated anti-fraud technologies are being integrated into the Iraqi economy to specifically facilitate the smooth and secure handling of large-scale currency exchanges. This critical innovation transforms currencies like the dinar from being viewed as speculative assets into legitimate, tradable instruments. When international banks acknowledge and actively integrate these new, secure digital systems, they are fundamentally opening the gateway to transactions that are faster, demonstrably safer, and far more scalable for investors around the world. The pillars of liquidity, transaction security, and system reliability are the non-negotiable foundations that dictate the ultimate success and sustainability of any national currency revaluation. Without this modern, digital, and institutional infrastructure, any potential currency event would be susceptible to chaos and fraud. There are continuous insider reports that suggest the implementation of tiered exchange rates once the revaluation process commences. This financial mechanism means that those who execute a strategic, early exchange may access different, potentially more favorable rates than those who exchange later, effectively creating a structure that incentivizes thoughtful investment timing. While any prediction of specific numbers remains purely speculative, the reported testing of rates, ranging from moderate to significantly higher values, strongly hints at substantial potential gains for those who have meticulously prepared their holdings. Governments and central banks often favor a tiered exchange approach because it serves to prevent a sudden market shock, facilitates orderly and manageable transactions, and rewards structured, disciplined investment behavior over chaotic, panic-driven exchanges. For investors watching this process, understanding the possibility of these tiered rate structures is an essential component of planning a smart, secure, and potentially highly rewarding exchange strategy. Verification of currency is another crucial area that financial experts are highlighting repeatedly. Banks will almost certainly demand irrefutable proof of ownership, complete with serial numbers and potentially other formal authentication documentation. This is a non-negotiable step to proactively prevent large-scale fraud, reject counterfeit transactions, and curb illegal currency trading. Ensuring that all dinar holdings are legitimate and fully verifiable is the simplest yet most critical protective step an investor can take to avoid being delayed or excluded from the exchange process. Being perfectly organized and having all documentation prepared is just as important as the physical ownership of the currency itself. The success of the dinar's financial modernization and revaluation is dependent on its full recognition and integration into the complex global banking infrastructure. The notable removal of exchange limits at major institutions like Chase is a powerful indication that international systems are actively aligning to accommodate significantly larger transaction volumes. Furthermore, the explicit integration with international standards, such as SWIFT and other global settlement tools, shows this is a coordinated international financial strategy, not a localized, isolated adjustment. This alignment provides a critical layer of stability, credibility, and transactional security for investors worldwide. Ultimately, this pivotal moment revolves around strategic timing and impeccable preparation. Investors must prioritize observing and acting only upon official updates disseminated directly from the Central Bank of Iraq and other rigorously vetted financial intelligence channels. Any attempt to transact prematurely, before the official and verified global rollout, could easily result in suboptimal rates or outright denied transactions. Maintaining patience while simultaneously remaining highly organized and perfectly prepared ensures the ability to act decisively and strategically when the verified opportunity arrives. The broader significance of this potential revaluation extends far beyond immediate financial gains. It symbolizes Iraq's comprehensive transition toward genuine currency independence, profound economic modernization, and full integration into the global financial community. These deep structural changes have long-term economic and political implications for both the country and its investors. By appreciating this wider context, observers can recognize that the ongoing events are far more than a speculative financial gamble. They represent a fundamental, historic financial milestone that has been decades in the making. Finally, we must emphasize the critical importance of absolute financial security during this period of high excitement. Scammers and various opportunists will inevitably attempt to exploit the anticipation surrounding the dinar. Claims of early access, guaranteed special rates, or private exchanges are common fraudulent tactics.
Investors must commit to interacting only with licensed, verified banks, official government channels, and established financial institutions.
Never pay upfront fees and never share sensitive information like currency serial numbers or receipts online. Security, professional discipline, and patience are the ultimate keys to successfully navigating this potentially historic currency event. The unprecedented scale of coordination across major global banks, with Chase, Wells Fargo, Citibank, and others reportedly aligning their internal systems, strongly suggests that when the official rate becomes available, the process will be handled in an orderly, professional, and highly structured manner. This foreknowledge allows investors to prepare strategically and act with confidence, assured that the underlying system is designed to safely and efficiently accommodate them. The message for our viewers is clear. The necessary physical and digital infrastructure is ready. The major banks are signaling their readiness, and the world is observing Iraq's long-awaited financial transition. This is not the time for credulous belief in unfounded rumors. It is a time for calm, calculated preparation for a potentially monumental currency event. By remaining calm, organized, and deeply informed, and by fully understanding the process from verification to exchange strategy, investors can position themselves to maximize their potential benefit. The alleged removal of all exchange limits by a global giant like Chase Bank is far more than a simple internal adjustment. It is a profound signal to the world that the dinar is being prepared for legitimate, high-volume international trading. This is the moment for decisive action in preparation, organization, and strategic planning. By understanding the possible stages of exchange, the rigorous verification requirements, and the necessity of proper timing, investors can maximize their advantage while systematically minimizing their exposure to risk. This represents a historic financial inflection point, and being informed is the essential first step toward success. Remember that all great wealth transitions come with profound responsibility. Acting smartly, proactively protecting your assets, and maintaining patience will be the defining factors in navigating the upcoming currency window. The banks are ready, Iraq is setting the stage, and the global financial system is aligning. Your long-term preparation is about to be tested.